So it's hard to, at what point does he have to have like a conversation like, this just isn't me anymore. I know I want to do this, but at this point, with 2 postseasons in a row with missing significant time, how do you square that circle? What happens, and where does it come to the factor of I just simply physically can't do this anymore?
I mean, how many games are we talking about? 20 total
between
with
the
qualifying
Olympics and
round
the
and the
qualifying.
Olympics.
It's a 6-team tournament, so
the problem is the only chance they have at qualifying and getting a medal is if Giannis plays out of his mind. Because my guess is Greece doesn't have a lot of superstars on it, where other countries do.
It's him and his brothers.
Yeah, so is he going to feel he needs to carry the torch and push himself a little too far?
Yeah, like
but
what
on
are
the flip
minutes
side, he does
restrictions?
have to keep his game sharp. You just can't not
totally
play the
agree.
whole time.
But like, what are the minutes restrictions? If they're in a do or die game in the championship of the qualifying or however it's structured, is Giannis going to play 40 plus minutes?
And we all know at times Giannis has to be saved from himself.
You are doing a great job of that Randy Travis song, On the Other Hand, right now. On one hand, but on the other hand. That's what I'm hearing from you. So you don't know. That's the thing. Like, you want him to have agency over his own performance.
Well,
you want him to...
if he gets hurt, Jen, it's a bad decision.
Okay. Wait and see how it shakes out.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, right? Sometimes we say to our kids, like, take your coat, right? You'd rather have it. You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right?
Yes.
I would rather, at the end of the season, I would rather have Giannis healthy and him forego the Olympics or forego an Olympics run. Now, he may think he can do both, but when he hasn't played at a high level in the offseason, his body has broken down on him. So are we thinking that we are going to be training so significantly differently, Joshy, that he can play in this off-season tournament, and his body will somehow miraculously be able to handle that load plus the regular season?
It's hard to...
Unless you think the injury was fluke, and it was just like, it could have happened at any time. It just happened to happen towards the end of the season and had him miss the postseason.
It's hard for me to see how the past 2 playoffs have played out and think, I mean, if you go back to where they won the championship, Giannis sustained also a serious injury that we all thought he was going to be out for the rest of the playoffs, and he miraculously played through it. Now, the duration of these injuries and the fact that, like, I mean, let's be honest here, that injury, he wasn't doing anything incredible. So was it just a fluke, or was it the stress of the season and him playing through? Because
he was Joshie having Achilles issues.
Yes.
And around 30 is, for professional athletes, you're getting into that Achilles tear time. I mean, we saw it in the NFL last year. I mean, that's just one of those things. Mine were real bad at 30. So I don't know.
I understand the lure of the Olympics. I understand how it only comes around, every once in a while, every 4 years, famously. I understand wanting to have that gold medal or at least compete for a gold medal. But I also think that the way things have shaken out, it feels irresponsible. It feels like I know that my availability at the end of the season has put this team in a bad spot. And how can I ensure my availability? Well, I can't. I can't guarantee that I'll be available. But not running through a tournament and playing at a high level in the offseason feels like a path towards at least getting closer to it, right? I can't guarantee it one way or another. I can't guarantee that if Giannis goes out and wins the tournament that he will get injured in the regular season or towards the end of the regular season. I can't guarantee the opposite. Like, that's why this is such a crapshoot. I also think that, like, he has that mindset of, I can do anything.
Yeah.
Which is what you have to have in order to be able to play at the level that he has played. So I think there's a part of him that's like, last year was a fluke. I want to go out and compete for my country. It makes sense. I also think that Giannis has that, like, he has such a connection to Greece. He wants to pay them back for what Greece has done for him,
sure.
In supporting his family. And I understand
but if you have
how that
chance of medaling, then why do you do it?
Well, but like you said, it's going to be a tough road to hoe to even get out of the tournament.
Sure.
So maybe he competes in it. He can say he did his very best, but they didn't make it to the Olympics. And therefore, could he still, Joshy, if they make it to the Olympics, could he pull out and not play in the Olympics? That seems far-fetched, but I suppose if it came down to a load management decision.
I mean, he can do whatever. Like, you could also just say I'm injured or not healthy enough, I suppose. But
I don't think that's in his DNA.
No. If he can go, he can go.
Yeah.
That's just Giannis. Like, that's him to his core. If he can go, he's going. I don't see if they make it. I think he's competing as much as he physically can.
800-990-3776. I think this is another tricky spot for Milwaukee sports fans because everybody loves Giannis and everybody wants to see Giannis have success in all of the things just because of the journey he's been on, the loyalty he has shown Milwaukee, et cetera, bringing them a title in 2021, all of the things. So I think it's hard for people to criticize Giannis. And I think in this instance, we all know in our gut what the right decision is. And that is for Giannis not to compete for the Greek national team in this play-in tournament and potentially in the Olympics. And yet, nobody really wants to tell Giannis that he shouldn't do it. And here we are.